Hi, this is Joe Jackson. What you're about to hear is a fragment from a 2001 interview I did with Bob Geldof. It's part of my booklet, ebook, Bob Geldof, the Joe Jackson Interviews Plus, which is available from Amazon and in Apple iStores, from Barnes & Noble and places like that. But this is where Bob was strongly contesting my right. Now, he recognized my right, but he wasn't very happy with my tendency towards psychological probing.
I do understand your also reluctance to furrow too deeply into the biographical context that gave...
Because every single context that you've given me has been utterly wrong. You know, and I understand that that's not your fault, because you've read what you believe are papers of record. You know, and but what record? I said nothing, you know, and there was an obvious agenda and reason for maybe other people saying things, you know, that you must take on board in a situation like this, you know.
Alright, so there was no truth in any of the stuff I kind of threw your way. To
So,
try to give our
absolutely.
readers and myself a socio-psychological context for these songs, or whatever it is.
The socio-psychological context of these songs is what happened to me in the last 5 years.
Alright. Okay.
In my head.
Alright. Okay.
Or the feeling.
Was there ever another 5 years in your life like it?
No.
Was there ever another kind of... You don't want to address directly how you felt about the death of Paula, because that was something that I'm glad to clarify that before she died.
Yes.
Have you written about her death?
No.
Did that come out? Is that one of the 7 songs that aren't included?
No, they were all done before.
Will you write about Paula's death?
No.
Be it in a song or in another volume of autobiography?
No, I respect absolutely your right to ask these questions, but they're wildly inappropriate, but no.
Why are they no, you tell me why they're wildly inappropriate. I think a lot of people would like to, with the honesty that put that book, like, has kids reading it in Ireland, I think there are millions of people who read it who would say, I'd love to fucking see him be as, no, let me finish, right? See him be as raw and honest and upfront, not just in what some would call vignettes, 10 slices or snapshots of poems or songs, but to do with his life in that 5 years. Even if it's trying to offset all that shit that I'm telling Jackson he's read.
Fine, that might be so, but this is still a higher form of talking about that.
The essences in songs?
Yeah, absolutely.
You really think that?
Yeah, I absolutely think that you would get a far better understanding intuitively of what it is. You know, you might want to read the story, but this is the story of feeling, and that's I know that sounds crap, but you know, really that's what it is. I mean, because you're an empiricist, you read these things and say that must be true, and you cobble together and what you believe is a total understanding. Whereas look, you could take every tabloid paper and write a biography of me from those tabloids, okay, and I would read it, and I would probably be very interested in it, but I would not recognise 78%, except the names, of the events in that book, or the motivations, or the quotes. I wouldn't recognise them as being any part of my life, because they would be utterly false. Tabloid Bob is a character who lives out there, and as a result, because he's a separate character, anything can be attributed to him or put upon him and live, which is what, of course, intuitively everyone who reads tabloids understand, because we know that they are not in any way influenced by the political judgments of the tabloids.
I'm talking about Hot Press Bob.
Hot Press,
2 albums, Bob. The Bob I've talked to before, interviews with Paula. I'm not basing everything.
No, I know you're not. I'm not reflecting it onto you. Right. I'm just saying that, you know, you've a long understanding of me and specifically, and Paula somewhat. And
but I do accept your thing that's small.
It is that small. I mean, you know me enough that I don't obfuscate. I will try honestly to answer it. If I write a book like that, or if I write songs like that, I'm not about to avoid or evade questions. It's just, you know, your question, will you write a song about postman? Well, where? How do you do that? I could write a song about the feeling of it, but you might even recognise it as being from that. You know.
Well, I mean it in the context of saying what's unsaid.